AI Render Review. Download AI Render for free on Gumroad. Enter 0 as the price and click I want this. In this video, I'm going to focus on AI Render and rendering everything in the cloud while using a free account at Dream Studio. If you are interested in running the Stable Diffusion locally, please make sure to check the Stable Diffusion chapter, which is almost at the end of this video. Let's go now through the installation and enabling this add-on. Go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons and click Install. Find and select the AI Render zip file and click Install Add-on. Use the search bar if you are not able to see only this add-on after the installation. The next step is enabling the AI Render inside the Render properties. Unfortunately, even after enabling it, nothing is going to work. You need to register for a Dream Studio API key, which can be pasted inside the installed add-on instead. Let's have a look at a Dream Studio account. Creating and copying the API key takes only one click each. Using the Dream Studio account is free only until you used all your first 100.0 credits. It says that 100.0 free credits is approximately 500 images with default settings. But what are the default settings? Back to Blender with my vintage car project open and ready to go through all the default settings. Doesn't matter where you pasted API key. Each time you open a new project, you are going to need to enable the AI Render with an additional click. The Setup section is where you find out that there are not only dimension limitations, but it is recommended to use a 512 by 512 image size, which is not the ideal one. It is worth mentioning that the limitation has nothing to do with the author of this add-on. It is Stable Diffusion that is having currently this limitation. There is a way of at least saving more credits by rendering images with default dimensions and after upscaling your image online for free. I will be showing you the results of the upscale later, so stay tuned for that. Now is the time to have a look at the detailed credits table. As you can see, not only the dimensions, but also the steps are very important to be as efficient as possible. You can think of steps as literal steps you need to take towards the best quality. More steps take more time, in this case, time and credits, but they get you closer to the best quality. I'm going to go briefly through the prompt and the negative prompt now. Prompt is your biggest creativity space where you can describe not only objects but art style as well. The negative prompt is what you want to be avoided, not included in the final results. In the AI Render, the negative prompt is already filled out for you with many words, for example, bad art, blurred, and ugly. You can of course always remove a word or add more to it. Applying a preset style is optional. You can uncheck it at any time if you don't wish to use it. At the time of recording, there are 39 preset styles to choose from. And what is the preset? Those are extra words ready for you to be included together with anything that you type inside the prompt. Keep in mind that while choosing a preset, your focus should be more on the words, not the image that was chosen to represent the preset. Able to see all the words included in the preset, you can click on the copy icon and paste it somewhere where you can have a closer look at all of them. Advanced options start with the random seed. Random seed checked, create a randomly new image. Random seed unchecked, create something similar to the last checked seed. Image similarity. How close to your scene do you want your results to be? For the best results, the recommended range is between 0.5 and 1.5. Steps were mentioned before, and it is recommended to stay in the 10 and 50 range for more satisfying results. Prompt strength. Since the final results are the combination of our model and prompt, we are given the choice of deciding should one of them affects more than the other. There are 3 models available to choose from. SD 1.5 capable of generating photorealistic images. SD 2.0 focuses on the model. SD 2.1 focuses on the model with improved steps. For more details, check the links in the description. The sampler type is very technical and can take a few good minutes of explanation. If you want to use AI render not only for fun, but more seriously, it is worth studying and testing those types. In the description, you can find a link to a video made entirely only about samplers by Scott Detweiler. Operation. You can generate a new image automatically, or if you prefer, you can uncheck to do it manually and use the 2 available options below. Before is going to save the image before processing the AI. After is going to save the image with the AI results. And of course, to do it automatically, you need to specify the path for your saved images. In the animation section, you also need to specify the path for your saved images. Make sure that the Use Animated Prompts is checked when you want to animate it while using the text editor instead. Checking the Use Animated Prompts can seem like not doing much, but if you scroll up, you are going to see that the animated prompts are used right now and that the previous prompt and negative prompt input fields are gone. You can edit them now inside the editor after clicking on the Edit Animated Prompts button. Now is the time for the animation tips mentioned by the author. Image similarity 0.7 to 0.8 is going to be the most stable and smooth. Unchecked random seed can help you create smoother animation. Checked random seed if you are worried about keeping the similarity between frames. Animation testing tips. Frame steps recommended testing with a value higher than 1. For example, if you use value 4, then it would render every 4th frame. Testing prompt strength together with DDIM sampler can give you smoother animation results. In this short section, I'm going to show you a very simple example of rendering the AI image. Switching and being inside the render preview is not necessary. I did that only because I wanted to show you what the whole scene looks like. I decided to go with the 3D game preset with the default settings, and I forgot that my prompt was actually empty. In that case, the only words that were passed were the ones included in the preset. Simple prompt testing results. Default settings with the image similarity 0.4 kept the results very close to my car model. Prompt strength 0.7 was definitely not strong enough to generate any space and rain. In this result, unchecking random seed, but at the same time going from 0.4 to 0.1 with image similarity didn't generate something similar to the previous image. Even the position of the car is totally different. Keeping random seed still unchecked, but changing image similarity from 0.1 to 0.8 generated an image more closely following my scene than the last generated checked seed. I tried again staying with the same settings, but changing image similarity this time from 0.8 to 0.6. The results still were way more following my scene than the checked generated seed. All the settings stayed the same except for the random seed, which was checked. The car is missing a horn and steering wheel, but besides that, it generated just slightly a different vehicle from my scene. Image similarity changed from 0.6 to 0.1 and steps from 30 to 40 generated an image not following closely the scene as expected. The quality, instead of being a bit better, actually made one part of the car disappear. Changing only the prompt strength from 7 to 1 gave the results of the car coming from the junkyard. A few changes were made here, including having a new Hudson River School preset and steps back to 30. Thanks to image similarity 0 and prompt strength 10, there is finally a bit of rain visible in the image. I tried getting more rain and space visible by increasing the prompt strength to 30, but it still was more of a failed render. It looks like someone had two images and decided to combine them. One more space and rain test, but with image similarity 0.3, and it again looks more like a combination of the images, but this time 3 instead of 2, plus adding a car to it. The only change before rendering this image was inside the prompt. I can feel the Addams Family vibes during a foggy night, but unfortunately, no pandas driving this car, or maybe is too short to be seen. Using Sci-Fi Concept preset, increasing image similarity to 0.5 and prompt strength to 35 generated a sci-fi car closer looking to my scene. It also generated a few leaves coming from the right side of the image and a weird circle inside the car. Generated AI image with image similarity 0.1 has interesting sci-fi results, but the panda is still nowhere to be seen. That is just creepy. The one on the right looks like a grumpy gremlin, and the one on the left is a pure evil thing without a neck or the whole body. This is what you get, I guess, if you ask about panda driving with image similarity 0. Same settings, only the village word was added to the prompt. Creepy animals are gone, but there is a UFO visible in the sky instead. This is just another generated image with exactly the same settings. Nothing was changed. This vehicle seemed to be on the move, so maybe was escaping from the previously seen UFO in the sky. Going with the Dan Mumford preset and its dark fantasy, image similarity was increased to 0.5 and prompt strength decreased to 10. The generated image is one of my favorites. But at this point, I started to think that Stable Diffusion thinks that the panda is a cat or any other animal, but not the panda itself. All the settings were the same, only the preset was changed to cyberpunk. Panda this time is a human without a face. The vehicle and the whole scene came out not that interesting. Sticking with the same settings one more time, but changing the preset into Canaledo. I like these results way more than the previous one, but the pandas keep on being more of a human shadow. More advanced prompt testing. In the next test, I disabled the preset and set the image similarity in most cases to 0. My focus was on the prompt and prompt strength. I generated a few images with the same settings just to see what the results are going to be and how similar to each other they can be. I was expecting to see something more dramatic. It ended up being a bit disappointing. Here I added a desert word to the prompt and hoped that maybe this will change things a bit, but it didn't do much besides adding the desert. The next 3 images are terrible. Prompt strength above 20 seems to destroy the whole image. Maybe if I would test this at the same time with a higher number of steps it would make a bigger difference. Since my amount of credits is limited, I decided to keep my prompt strength below 20. One more UFO result with the prompt strength 15. For the next test, I used a very simple scene and played a little bit more with the image similarity. Monkeys look more like collecting than stealing potatoes. A gothic word inside the prompt had no effect on the generated image. Another creepy image. Monkeys with candy potatoes. Quite often there are weird things added to the generated images, or some parts are missing. Monkey priests with potatoes. failed and creepy results. I tried to generate it with exact same settings and it went way better than the previous one, but still very weirdly looking. Lowering image similarity generated not only another failed render, but all the faces were far away looking like monkeys. The one holding tight to the potatoes is definitely contemplating what happened or maybe what they should do now with so many potatoes. At least here monkeys are happy, but instead of stealing they are eating potatoes. Actually, I'm not sure about eating anymore because the potato on the left looks like a poo. I added the word style after Gothic hoping that it will emphasize it more in the results, but the generated image was still a fail. I stayed with the same settings but changed the prompt to monkeys eating potatoes since they were eating them anyway. Here they are holding a cookie potato. Higher prompt strength generated astronaut monkeys with porridge. I set the image similarity to 0 and prompt strength to 7. I have no idea what this shiny thing is in the middle, but at least it generated a nice quality church. Same settings, nothing was changed and the results were so different. Those monkeys' facial expressions took me fully by surprise. These results were the closest to the prompt. Monkeys are even having a romantic candle atmosphere. Staying still with the same settings and getting results of one monkey smelling the potatoes and the other one intensively thinking about something. I kept on generating so different results each time and most of them were not matching all of the words from the prompt. Here we have two monkeys with a bowl of rice. They also look made of plastic. Here I added the word painting to the prompt and look at this monkey's eyes, feet and finger. And those are very juicy potatoes. Nothing was added or changed, and this time my monkey is having 3 legs and 3 arms. Something weird is above the table, random leaves are in the air, and another new kind of juicy potato is in the corner. The prompt was changed to more advanced and with the New Year theme. This is finally a pretty decent looking render. Rendering the same settings generated very similar results, but still without monkeys. Image similarity set to 0.3. Plastic monkeys are back but in a new edition. After decreasing image similarity to 0.21, monkey is in shock. Setting image similarity to 0.1 brought back the fireworks and for some reason humans instead of monkeys. Another render with beautiful fireworks. Monkey aliens visit Earth for the first time and one of them is looking directly into your soul. A half head of the monkey and of course in contemplating mode. I was curious if it will render something similar and it did. This time monkey on the branch. This is a cool looking monkey robot. Another prompt change finally seems to be working very well. And another one. Things are getting more interesting. I decided to see how it is going to look with image similarity 0.2. Details were amazing, but they keep on not following directly everything included in the prompt. Same settings, but a very different render. They look like robot toys. Test with image similarity 0.3 generated astronaut robot family. I kept the same settings, and the only thing that looks interesting to me is the blue head. Many other elements in this image failed. Two models in the front with image similarity increased to 0.5 generated a good idea for the monkey robot head. Back to image similarity 0 and awesome renders.
YouTube, I am your father.
Monkey special agent. They remind me of Transformers. Prompt change while keeping all the rest settings the same. Not a bad render here with a scared monkey and electric thunder. A bit creepy monkey coming from the galaxy teleport. Rubber duck in the galaxy. It is literally a combination of the rubber duck image on top of the galaxy image. This one, on the other hand, doesn't feel like a rubber duck in the galaxy at all. After adding the alien word to the rubber duck finally, there is more action going on. Now, this is a proper space rubber duck. The last prompt update made a rubber duck into a very unusual looking spaceship. This thing in the middle, I have no idea what it is. It reminds me of the Sphinx in Egypt. Image upscale. Go to upscale.media and click on Upload Image, or use two other available options. Be ready to prove that you are not a robot. If you pass the test, you can choose how many times you want to upscale your image, and if you want to enhance the quality. This is my result after upscaling 4 times and enhancing quality. Animation. I decided to test the animation settings with my simple low poly flame animation. Even with the random seed unchecked, I had to run through a few tests with different image similarity numbers. Let me show you first how to render the animation after generating all the images with AI render. Next, I'm going to display for you all the results and talk about them briefly. Go to the editor type icon and choose Video Sequencer. Next, go to Add and Image Sequence. You will get a pop-up window where you need to find the folder with all of your rendered images. Select them all with I and click on Add Image Strip. Now is the time to make a few adjustments inside the output properties. First, let's change the frame range from 250 to 50. If your own animation had a higher rendered frame range, then use that number instead. In the output section, you need to specify the path to a folder where you want to have your final animation to be saved. You need to also change the file format from a PNG image to MPEG video. And lastly, inside the encoding section, change container to QuickTime for Mac or MPEG-4 for Windows. It is time now to go and render the animation inside the Render and Render Animation. Animation testing results. The first test had image similarity 0.7 with the random seed checked. It resulted in all the images being different, and animation became, instead of smooth, very flashy. This time I unchecked the random seed and increased image similarity to 0.9. The results were way better, but the animation still wasn't fully smooth. Image similarity 0.8 gave a different torch and flames, but the same as previously was pretty consistent in generating smoother animation. Testing animation with prompt strength 30 was destroying the images, and in the case of the animation was causing error messages in the middle of the render. I even had an error with image similarity 0.2, and this made me watch out for my credits and end my testing there. Here are the two results which were interrupted by the error messages. One was able to generate 43 frames out of 50, and the other one had 39 frames out of 50. Here are the PC and Mac requirements for Stable Diffusion. My machine is not able to handle Stable Diffusion locally, so I can show you all the steps. For anyone interested in trying to use it locally, you can find the link in the description. It was fun to play with it and test it out, but I would recommend you to be on hold with the animation until it is improved. The author of the add-on is mentioning generating textures with stable diffusion as a future feature, and that is something I will be looking forward to coming back for. The add-on is well created with a lot of tips, but be aware that the real magic happens only if you know how to use the prompt correctly. And what were your thoughts? Which images did you like the most? Did you test or planning to test this add-on? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching.